Hi, this is Rebekah
And Leslie.
with the Geeky Girls Night In podcast. Geeky Girls Night In is a podcast with your fandom family, sleepover style.
Empowering fans and creating inclusive fan spaces where we can all be ourselves.
So go get your jammies,
Grab a drink
gather the fur babies.
and join the conversation.
Hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's Rebekah,
It's Leslie.
and we are here for episode 2, which we had so much fun doing the first one. So it's really exciting. So glad you could join us. Casting news this week. Disney's live action Mulan. They've cast Gong Li and Jet Li. So
Yay.
two amazing and gorgeous actors. I'm going to admit something here. I have never seen Mulan. Yeah, I
No.
mean, I'm old. Like, I watched Disney in my
We are
childhood.
close to the same age. There is no excuse.
No, but by the time that movie came out, I was already like, I didn't really watch Disney movies like the
I gotcha.
what is it, the cartoons anymore. I think the last one I watched was like The Little Mermaid, and then it was like, okay, well, I don't really watch those. I'm not. I love Disneyland, but I'm not necessarily like
A Disney head.
Disney fan, and so I don't really watch animated features unless, like, for kids. Obviously, there's features for adults, unless I'm forced to. The the exception to that is Miyazaki, because they're just like Spirited Away is one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, I haven't for Disney, and also like a lot of those Disney movies do not age very well. They just do not. But there's so much love for this one. I feel like I should probably see it.
So here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Maybe we should do a live tweeting of Mulan.
Eh,
Maybe
there
that's
we
a thing that we should
go.
do. And if you guys are interested in seeing that and maybe even joining in that, just like tweet us at Geeky Girl Guide and let us know. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like I should be a part of this. Mulan is a great movie. It's so the music. Like
Yeah.
you can sing like a part of a tune and there's somebody around you that can join in.
Yeah.
Always. So
Nice. You know what? That's not the. Wait. Was Coco a Disney movie or was that Pixar? Is that the same thing now? I don't even know.
I think Pixar is a part of Disney, but they're not like they don't consider themselves Disney, if that makes sense.
Okay, because I did go see Coco.
Is that cute? It looks cute.
Oh my God. It was amazing. I mean, I went and see it because it's Mexican people.
Right.
But,
right.
and the reviews were great. And my God, by the end of it, you're just like sobbing. It's of being touched, really. I mean, they do an amazing job on a lot of fronts. One, I was really happy they were talking about Day of the Dead and stuff, because I get so sick of how obsessed and people are with the sugar skull art,
Yep.
and they have no idea what the fuck it is. They're just like, oh, this is edgy but cute because it's like a skull but it's got pink on it, and they have no idea what they're wearing. And I'm just like this, there's some incredibly rich, meaningful traditions and spirituality behind it, and I feel like nobody knows. They just wear it because it's cute but edgy. And so it was nice, because I'm like, all those people who love that are going to go see it just for the skulls, and then they're going to at least get an education.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of, it's centered on that tradition and the complexity with which they tell sort of familial dynamics I really appreciated it, that it wasn't like the parents were the bad guy or the kid's the bad guy, because the kid wanted to play music, the family didn't want him to play music. And, it was really, because he really needed to learn to really appreciate how important his family was to his life. And they needed to learn to, respect his autonomy. But it was just so layered and relatable, and also just stunning. Like, there were so many scenes where you just stop and be like, I can't believe someone created this. Just the colors and the richness. They had alebrijes, which are like these really cool creatures that are like two animals combined. Not combined, but you know what I mean. Like, it would have the head of one animal and the
Okay.
body of a different animal, but very fantastical animals. And that are like my favorite things ever. And they just, oh my God, the beauty. They just did all of that such justice. I thought it was so good. And yeah, definitely. I totally loved it. That was a sidebar. But so yeah, I would totally live tweet Mulan. That would be awesome. Because I'm definitely going to have to see the live action version. And Gong Li and Jet Li, I actually, both of them are so gorgeous and talented. Like, how can you not go see them? And then let's see, also joining the cast is Chinese Vietnamese actress Zana Tang, who will play Mulan's sister, which is an original character for the live action film.
No, there's no sister in Mulan.
Yeah, so they are, creating new characters too. So that, whenever you adapt a property, who knows if people will love that or hate that, but I will definitely go see it for sure.
And she'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Okay, so also huge news. Anybody been following Coachella?
Yes.
Hit it, Leslie.
So, I believe from what I've seen that Beyonce is the first Black woman headliner at Coachella.
Of course she is.
And she tore it down. Now, a lot of non-Black people won't be familiar with historically Black university and college and their halftime shows. Here in Indianapolis, we have something called the Circle City Classic. And it's where two historically Black universities and colleges, they come together and they have a football game. I've been to this one time and I was, I don't think I was even a teenager yet. Maybe 12, maybe 13, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And like I paid my little, paper route money for my ticket. And I wasn't there for the football game because I don't follow sports ball at all.
Yeah.
I was there for the halftime show.
Yeah.
And the drum line and the majorettes and all of the dancers. And basically that's what Beyonce started it out as.
That's so cool.
Tons of it was amazing. I haven't even seen the whole thing because she snatched every last one of my edges during the intro.
Yeah.
And I had to go take a break somewhere and then it was time to record.
God, she's spectacular. Yeah. Yeah, I saw like she had her own crest.
Yep, she did. It's absolutely beautiful. I want to go enroll in that school.
Yeah.
Perhaps her sorority, if she has one. I have the money now. I can join a sorority. And then it sounds like Solange came out. I did see where Destiny's Child reunited and did a couple of songs.
That's so awesome.
And they looked beautiful. They all looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was out there, and I can't wait to see the rest of it once I get, glue my edges back together. And life, get my credit up to par and everything.
Yeah. I mean,
that I'm allowed to watch it.
What I also read was that they did not release her merchandise until her set started. Like,
oh my God.
You know how she is. She knows how to make an entrance. She knows how to come out with a bang. But did you see pictures of the merch?
I haven't seen the merch yet. No.
It's really cool looking. It's got her crest on it. Like, that's supposed to be like her sorority for the, historically Black college. Yeah, she's unbelievable. We're not worthy of Beyonce, to be honest.
We saw Instagram this week and found out that Black Panther is being released to DVD and Blu-ray in May.
Ooh.
So
nice.
I want to say May 18th. The DVD and the Blu-ray have separate release dates. The
really?
The DVD is before the Blu-ray for some reason, and it's not an extended amount of time. It's like maybe a couple of days.
I've never seen that, but okay.
Yeah, if you check out Chadwick Boseman's Instagram, he was the one that I saw it on.
Well, I am happy to check out his Instagram.
Right.
I don't even have a DVD or Blu-ray player. I just stream everything. But I feel like for situations like this, I should buy one just to have collectibles,
I'm buying the digital. I'm buying the Blu-ray. I'm buying the DVD. And and I'll have to figure out which one I'll plan on opening because I plan on watching it multiple times again. So,
Yes.
and because our first few recordings didn't go so hot, you guys don't know, but I went and saw Black Panther twice in a row on the same day because the day that it came out because I could put my child in daycare
Hmm.
and I could sit through the movies and it was great.
Yeah, you requested a day off work, and you were like, "I need a vacation day. I'm going to see Black Panther,"
Yes. Yes.
which is
And on the
brilliant.
board, yes, and on the board at work, um, we have a board. It has each of our names on it, and like in the little boxes, we're supposed to, basically say where we're at if we're not in the building because we have sites that we tend to have to visit
Hmm.
to check out technology things. And mine said I was going to Wakanda.
You're so
And
cute.
yeah, and then when I got back, my administrative assistant was like, "Did Wakanda not want you?" So I'm like,
That's
"I'm behind
cold.
you, lady."
It is cold.
I love Rhonda though. I bought her licorice back from my trip to Colorado. So,
Aw. I also, I didn't plan on asking you about this, so, but you did a Craigslist ad too, didn't you, in your area?
oh my God, yes, the Craigslist ad.
And it went up in what area in your town, like in around your city, or?
It's just Indianapolis. It just
Okay.
went up in Indianapolis, and it's probably still there for a little bit longer. Basically asking for white people to throw rose petals as I walked in, and I got a few positive
Yeah.
people that really wanted to do it,
Right, right.
and I got one person that asked how much it paid,
Uh-huh.
and then I got a couple of
Right.
ugly responses, which I posted on my personal Facebook page.
Right, right.
But I'm not really concerned about them. But like the people that volunteered and were so excited to do it, bless your guys' hearts. You're
Oh, it was
so
so cute.
sweet.
You were like, yes, when I go to Black Panther, I need white people to throw roses at my feet.
Yeah,
Oh, it was awesome because I was like, hey, if nobody does it, you can make your husband do it.
right, right. But he was not requesting a day off work to throw rose petals at my feet.
Right,
So
right. I don't know why not. I mean, come on now.
I know.
I
I
know.
know.
That's to me. I never thought that I liked trolling. I thought it was just super petty, like a-hole behavior. But then I realized that I'd never seen real trolling. I'd only seen petty bullying, and
Right, right.
so I realized when it's actual trolling, it is fucking hilarious because people who got butthurt at that, so hilarious. Like
Oh, they got
how
really mad, like really mad. Like
so
somebody threatened to sit and
funny.
fart on me, and I'm
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
I'm like,
People
okay,
got all
girl.
kinds of, I don't know, jealousy because like how can you not cheer for people who are, I don't know, especially if you're a geek. Like I when I went to see Black Panther with my sister, obviously we are not black, but we were just like seeing all the black folks there, like in their gear and stuff. Like, oh my God, we were just so happy for them because when you're a geek and you've felt underrepresented or, which a lot of people have, like, man, you're just so happy that, people are overjoyed and they're getting, I don't know. I don't know how you cannot just be happy for people, but, whatever.
It was so good. And even now, it's reverberating. I just saw on YouTube a wedding where they did the Black Panther dance challenge. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. I've seen the Jabari Tribe challenge. Have you seen that on
Where they're
Twitter?
like grunting at each other?
No, where people, speaking of Winston Duke, where people reenact Mbaku's monologue.
Yes. Yes. I saw Kev
So
on stage do
funny.
it.
Kev
He
on
was in
stage is so funny.
Philadelphia.
He's so cute. He's hilarious.
Yes. But the Black Panther dance challenge, it's just a really cute dance sequence. You should YouTube
Hmm.
it after we get done here.
Okay.
Um, but it's there. You're in like a triangle formation, and the first person in the front is leading it.
Hmm.
But since it was a wedding, it was the bride and groom leading the dance, and it was
Oh,
so good.
cute. I'm gonna have to see
And
that for sure.
yes, and I always cry at weddings anyway, but I was a mess at this one.
You're so
So
cute.
yeah, I'm that person. As soon as the music starts, I'm just a sobbing mess. So I just bring my own box.
Oh, you're a romantic.
I love love. I really do. And a couple friends of mine are getting married this year, and I'm already a wreck. I'm like, what do you need from me?
You're
What
so,
can I
oh
do
my
to make your
God,
special day specialer?
that's so cute.
So,
I could I don't have that gene where I'm just like, yeah, okay. I don't know.
congratulations. Where's the
Yeah,
food?
yeah, yeah. But anyway, so you were also going to say something is happening with Sega, or happened with Sega this
Yes,
week?
yes. I'm so excited about this because I love Sega growing up. Sega has announced that their Mega Drive Mini comes out this year, and apparently they had a Mega Drive Classic before this, but I don't know much about that. And basically, they're following in the footsteps of the Nintendo SNES Mini. It'll be released in conjunction with the original console, Sega's console's 30th anniversary, and it'll have a number of their classic games on it. So I'm
Oh,
all about the Sonic the Hedgehog. That has always been my jam.
yeah.
Um, as
I,
far as Nintendo goes, I've never been able to reach the last level of any of the Super Mario Brothers, but
really?
never, not as a kid, nope.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
I have not tried as an adult, however. So, but
I
Sega, through
beat all
Sonic,
them as a kid. Oh
are
yeah.
you like my grandma and my cousin? They beat them
Yeah.
all. My grandma would she would get off work and she'd kick her shoes off and she'd sit in front of that TV and she would Nintendo out.
Nice.
So and she would yeah, like she had all of the games.
Wow.
So and that's something I talked about at work and like my coworkers looked at me like I was just out there because my grandmother she had a Nintendo, she had every single Nintendo game and she had a subscription to the Nintendo Power magazine. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, super fancy magazine would give you tips and tricks through every single game.
Nice.
And so yeah, she had a subscription and like my I think my grandfather bought her the subscription.
That's sweet. I love when
Yeah.
people just do them. Even if
Yeah,
it's
and
like, what? You're too old for that or you're too young for that. No, just do you. That's always so inspiring.
exactly. And then like Nintendo at one point, and I'm talking about the old school Nintendo, they
Hmm.
had a setup where you could it was a wooden case and you would set your console in it and then it had like little strips in the second and third row for all of your games. Well, that thing was like $300.
Mm.
My grandfather built my grandmother one, complete with all
Oh,
these little Nintendo puffy stickers on it.
that is so sweet.
It had like a hidden door for all of her controls and like the duck hunt gun and stuff.
See, that's
So cool.
love.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Um, and so I never played Sega, but I'm sure I will be hearing about it from my son very soon.
Yes, it was so
Yeah,
awesome.
cool.
I don't remember a whole lot of the Sega games. I know we had quite a few, but the only ones that I really played were Sonic the Hedgehog because I like the running and the chasing and collecting the gold rings and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, and
Cool.
Eugene's bartending.
That's pretty fun. That is pretty
So,
fun. Oh my god. For my geeky week, I crammed a whole truckload of geeky into 1 week
yeah, you did.
because last weekend I went to Klexicon. What is Klexicon, you ask?
I do.
It is a fan convention because I love going to those, and it is multi fandom, so it's not just one show. And it is for LGBT women and allies. So Klexa is the name of a ship, meaning probably most people listening know what that is, but I'll just say like when you really like two characters together and you want the writers to get them or keep them together, that's your ship. It's short for relationship, and I learned that word when I started watching Supernatural. So Klexa was a ship of a same-sex female couple on the 100, Clark and Lexa. And I've only seen, I think, the first season of the 100. But so I haven't been a part of that, but I guess, people just, Lexa was an amazing character. Clark's an amazing character. People love them together. And they killed Lexa. So everyone was really upset because also that year, it was 2016, and it was just a really rough year because they were just killing off every like female LGBT character in shows. I think there was like, I don't know, 10 deaths like that season. You know, we lost Charlie on Supernatural. Like there was just a ton of people. And of course, you know, there's this sort of trope they call barrier gaze, and you know, meaning they're more likely and more often kill off gay characters than straight characters. And you know, and in my, you know, it's just anecdotal, but you know, I think it's always been behavior of people who are creating entertainment. I mean, even back, if you look at like the pulp novels in the 50s, like, you know, authors and people who make movies, you know, try to draw you in with titillating things like, oh, look at this bad girl, she's lesbian or whatever. And then to kind of maintain their respectability, and so people don't riot, they kill them off at the end. You know, it's like you take characters or themes that society is excited by but won't admit it, you know, use that to draw in people, and then kill off the characters. They can all feel like, okay, good, you know, we all went home feeling smug and righteous still.
All right.
And so it kind of just becomes habit. And I mean, you know, obviously that's also been a trope with Black characters, you know, in horror movies, like kill them off. And I do think even though a lot of writers aren't necessarily motivated by that, I do think LGBT characters these days when they exist, are often the supporting characters, not the central characters. Their arc is not central to the story, and so it's easier for people to kill them off. So it was just kind of a depressing season. But some of the Clexa fans, you know, got together and decided, and actually I should have looked up their names. I listened to Les Hangout, Lez Hangout, which is a podcast that's great, and I will talk about it later. But and they were interviewing the Clexicon founders, whose names I didn't put in my notes. But they were saying that initially they were just going to have like a small party, because they're actually, you know, they were noticing the younger fans being so devastated and going, gosh, we'd like to be there for them, you know, because we know what that's like, you know, your first big gay loss, you know. And then it just morphed into a convention. And I think
real quick, the founders are Holly Weinbarger, Ashley Arnold, and Danielle Jablonski.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
So, and then they said, so it grew into this thing. So basically what is kind of special about the convention is that it's, you know, the regular fan convention, panels, autographs, photo ops, but it also has kind of a driving mission, which is improving LGBT representation in all forms of media. And they really treat sort of the attendees as part of that, being helping them develop and put out their own creative work, because those are the people they know who are going to be improving LGBT representation. So it is really astonishing at the guests that they have, because this was only their second year. And I looked at the guests of first year, and they have, you know, they have good guests. They have people, you know, and I think the women who founded it must have had very good entertainment relationships, but also I think the mission does draw people, especially people who have a lot of LGBT fans and appreciate them.
Sure.
It's their chance to go out and thank them and show up and give back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this year they had basically all of the main female cast from Winona Earp. They had Legends of Tomorrow, like Katie Lotz from there. They had Person of Interest. There is a same-sex couple towards the end of that series, and they were there. Sarah Shahi and Amy Acker. The actress from Black Lightning was there, and I haven't watched Black Lightning yet.
I haven't either.
I really, really want to. I actually, by the time I heard about it, I went on Hulu, because they have a lot of CW stuff. But they take them off. So there was I was missing the first 5 episodes or 4 episodes. So
I hate that so much.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. But Nafessa Williams from Black Lightning was there, and she seems like just really amazing and appreciative of her LGBT fans. Chyler Lee, and then the couple from Carmilla. It was a lot. Oh, One Day at a Time. Have you watched One Day at a Time?
Never. No.
So it's a show on Netflix that you really, really should watch. It's I kept seeing it on my Twitter feed, like, and I kept wondering, like, are they rebooting an old soap opera? I really thought it was a soap opera because it sounds like the title just sounds like an old soap opera. One Day at a Time, like One Life to Live, One General Hospital or whatever.
Right.
And so I was just kind of, every time I just kept scrolling past, and then at some point I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, you guys, what's going on here? Because I saw a review saying, oh, it's just real human feelings and blah blah blah. So I looked it up, and it's actually a reboot of an old sitcom, but really it's its own thing. It's one of those things where you're like, why did they even use the old name? But they are a Latino family. It's the mom, she's a single mom. She's a military veteran, and she has 2 kids, and her mom is there, who is Rita Moreno. And it is freaking fabulous. It's just a great show. You know what I mean? Like, I laughed and cried the first episode. I'm telling you, it's great.
Oh, wow.
So, one of the characters on there is LGBT, and she came, and she's darling. And then, also a last minute guest that I didn't even know was there when I got there, because they were updating it last minute, was Stephanie Beatriz, who I love. She's Rosa Diaz on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
And her character came out as bisexual this last season, and she also identifies as bisexual, and she's Latina, and she's just darling. She's just sweet and adorable. And I just love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's such a great show. So I was like tweeting her from the floor pictures of all the fan art, going, hey, you're really loved here at Clexicon, because she's on her Twitter a lot. And I was like, well, if she sees it, maybe she'll come next year. And then one of the fan artists was like, oh, she's here. And I had already missed all the panels she dropped in on, but she had walked around and looked at all of their fan art, shook their hands, complimented their work, like. And that was kind of the way Clexicon was, because it is small and because there is that mission. All the celebrities really, 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 really just went out and talked to people and hung out and partied. There was a party, and they literally partied. There's video of Stephanie Beatriz and the actress from One Day at a Time, whose names escape me because I can never remember names. They are dancing and getting down with all the fans. So cute. You just can't believe it. It's so cute. But I actually did not go there for the celebrity panels, because I kind of went there on a mission, because I thought it was really special that they have all of these workshops for fans to workshop their creative projects. So they have a film festival. So if you're a fan who goes, you can submit and screen your film. They had an anthology. So if you like to write fan fiction, you could submit it. You had to change the names, though, because, intellectual property.
Sure.
And then they published it and did a launch party at the convention. They also, they had a couple of workshops for YouTubers. They had pitch to production for TV shows. They had a writing workshop with Emily Andrus, who's the goddess, who's the showrunner of Wynonna Earp. And these are people who have already done this, like best of the best, like one of the executive producers who was there. She had produced Dark Matter and Lost Girl. These are people who know what the heck they're talking about, and they're people with a lot of knowledge and wisdom and resources, and they were really reaching out and sharing that very generously. So, I was like, I'm there because I started writing a novel. I've written a lot as far as nonfiction. Like when I was little, I loved fiction and I loved fantasy, And I wrote a lot of my own fantasy stories when I was little. And then I went to college and got into politics. And then everything I write seems to be like, policy, political, and that sort of thing. And I kind of decided, I'm gonna mix those, like, and write a novel that is going to be, social critique, but also magical realism, something really awesome, like in the vein of Octavia Butler, though obviously I am no Octavia Butler, but who could be? And so I started a novel, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to start pitching this around, because they were taking pitches for TV productions and film productions. The head of Tello Films, I think, let's see, they don't put their names and titles on here, but it was pitched to production by Tello Films, Zara Berry, Paige Bernard, Bridget McManus, and Nancy Lee Myatt. So there was 4 women who were just generous and amazing and funny and encouraging, and so you could give them your pitch. And I thought, I'll pitch it, just see, because right now it's a novel, but maybe it could be something else. And so they kind of would go around the room, and you kind of gave your pitch as far as, okay, I'm doing something about this. And then they would give you feedback like, okay, well, you need to tell people, explain kind of what the tone will be, maybe by drawing comparisons to famous, other fiction. And the idea was, at the end of there was 2 sessions. At the end of the sessions, they were going to actually choose someone's piece to produce, to give them money and sort of the resources of Tello Films. And by the way, Tello Films, Tello, it's a Netflix they say it's Netflix for lesbians, but Netflix for LGBT content. So, so their only requirements for the pitches were, you cannot kill the gay women, and you cannot have someone identify as lesbian and end up with a man. So that was literally the only 2 requirements. So
does that happen a lot in literature?
Oh yeah, to like tame the woman, and yeah.
Oh, gag me.
Yeah,
Ugh.
totally. So there was, I don't know, I'm bad at estimating, but maybe 30 people in the room. Almost everybody was at the celebrity panels, so it was like, I felt like I was sneaking in, like getting, because I'm just like, how do I have this access just by showing up at this convention? But I think not that many people know about the convention, plus everybody's at the celebrity panels. So, this kind of access was really special. And so everyone was giving their pitches, and I'm telling you, there were some amazing ideas that I was just like, I want to watch all of these things. And my pitch got really a lot better. And also, they gave me feedback and helped my story. I was not chosen to be produced, and that's okay. I mean, there were people who had put a whole lot more work into it, like had already been crowdfunding, already had actors in place, like people who really had busted their behinds to get a whole lot further than I was. I was just kind of there with an idea. So I definitely was cool with that, because also they were like, it's less about winning this, because the production deal was $1,500, which I could get that crowdfunding in a weekend probably, or 4 or 5 days.
Sure.
So it's more about their investment and them seeing it through till the end, which is very cool. But they were also like, if you're in this room, we're here to help you.
That is awesome.
They're like, send us a script. Like, you just couldn't believe they were so, they were amazing. And we went over, and so they were like, okay, well, those that are left, and I was like the second to the last one. So they took like 4 of us out, and we just like sat on the floor, in one of the rooms, and they just like listened to us. And I mean,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Right? Like, it was really amazing. And so I came back really excited with a lot of ideas, and I think I'm going to actually put an idea together for a web series, because I'm obsessed with TV. Of course, that makes like the 50 gazillionth project that I have, so I may have to cut back on some other things, but so I was really happy about that. And then I also went to the podcasting panel. I mean, I went to a lot of panels, but these are ones that were more about, I guess, helping our creative content and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it was Let Them Hear You, Podcasting 101. It was Dana Piccoli, who was moderating a lot of panels. She's awesome, really funny, wonderful lady. Lee Holmes Foster, adorable pregnant lady. Um, Ellie Brigida and Carolyn Bergier. I hope I'm saying that right. And so Ellie and Lee do Liz Hangout, which is a podcast, and it's a great one. So I listened to it all the way back from Vegas, and they just talked about podcasting and tips and stuff like that. It seemed like most of the questions were about like what mic should I have, which is not something you can answer in a panel.
Right.
So for people with those questions, like I'd recommend doing like a free podcasting 101 sort of course.
Where did we go? Do you remember the name of it?
Yeah, let's look, because that was actually really good. She Podcasts.
Okay.
And they have, they sell some fairly pricey, though I'm sure worth the money, courses, but they have a free one that is really, really good. I love it.
It'll get you started.
Yeah, and what they do, like, it's better to figure out your equipment that way, because they will kind of they really break down like, well, if you're looking for this or if you need this, because you have to ask a lot of questions of each person to kind of understand what they need. Like, how much money do you want to spend? Is it going to be a one-person host or interview format? But they were also very lovely and supportive, which is what I found across the board at Lexicon. And so I highly recommend their podcast. And they said, let us know when you guys post yours, so we will be doing that. And yes. Of course, they talked about one of their episodes was talking about the bury your gays trope, and they were talking about like painful losses of gay characters. And so, of course,
back up a little bit. Explain the barrier one more time.
Bury your gays. It's
bury your gays.
Yeah, and it's the trope of always killing the gay character. So if you look at like the percentage of the number of character deaths and the number of them that are straight versus gay, like it's pretty clear that entertainment creators really lean heavily on killing off your gay characters, because they're often the considered the less important characters.
Sure.
And so of course I had to bang my drum about Charlie Bradbury, because that's my thing.
That was so bad. That was so bad.
So let's see. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I did a like a TV production one, and that one you actually paid for because it was like 3 hours or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And you got to really sit and dig in deep and ask lots of questions. But I'd already done 2 pitch to production and producing your independent project. So it actually wasn't a whole lot of new information, because those free panels were amazingly, amazingly helpful. So that was mostly my, and then my other sort of dream of going, okay, so I wrote a short story for the anthology. So the anthology is produced by Sapphire Publishing, and they call itself a Gem and Lesbian Publishing. And if you're going to the convention, anybody could submit, but they were going to favor those who are going to convention. And initially they said, do a fan fiction. You can't use their names, but we'll know who you're talking about. I think their lawyer must have called them, because the next time I went over, their website was changed, like, oh, let's talk about finding love at conventions. It was very generalized, but it was too late. Already written my fan fiction. So I wrote it and changed everything that was like licensed property. So it took some of the fun out of it, but not much, because it's very, very obvious if you read it who they are. So I wrote a piece that paired Charlie Bradbury from Supernatural with Winifred Burkle from the TV show Angel. And that was Buffy the Vampire Slayer spinoff. And it is implied in Angel season 4 that she is bisexual. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I got them together. I set it in the world of Wayward Daughters, which has not been picked up yet, but I'm very much hoping for it. So it's set at Sheriff Jody Mills' house in South Dakota.
Okay, cool.
She
Cool.
has like a backwoods Hogwarts for girls, basically. And they're both professors. So anyway, they published it, and I was so excited because it was so much fun to write. And Amy Acker, who plays Winifred Burkle, was going to be there for Person of Interest because she was there with Sarah Shahi, both stunningly beautiful women and the sweetest people you'll ever meet. And so I was like, I really want her to sign my my story.
Right.
And so I stood in line and got up to her, and oh my God, she's just a human ray of sunshine. And when I told her, I have pictures up on my Instagram, but her face just lit up. Like, I don't know how she's on like that all day, but bless her, you know. And so I explained it to her, and she was just like, oh my God, I love that. And she wrote in her note, I love this, with an arrow down to my story.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes. And like every actor that went was really there to love and appreciate their LGBT fans. And like, it's so heartwarming, you know?
Yeah.
So I was really happy for her response and her note. I was so happy. And, you know, I was also, the only two autographs I bought were hers and Sarah Shahi's, because Sarah Shahi plays Shaw in Person of Interest, one of my favorite characters ever written. And I almost like cried. I was so overwhelmed because I love Shaw so much. So those were like my two things. I initially went to Klexicon because I'm a Winona Earp fan, and all the fans online from there were going, and I had an amazing time with them as well. The Winona Earp fandom is a great fandom. And of course, you know, at the end of the day, there was always going to be, you know, there's always dramas and critiques and everything.
Sure.
The only one that I thought may have actually held any water was a person on Twitter said, who wasn't at the convention, but I think she's probably correct in retrospect, because she said that the actress from Black Lightning did not get the love that the other white actresses got, in the sense that not as many people attended her panel, et cetera, et cetera. So, and she was upset. She's like, you know, basically, white women, white lesbians, like as soon as you get in these places that are supposed to be inclusive, they're still not quite inclusive, you know?
Right.
And
right.
just, and, you know, I wasn't sure because I hadn't, the person who tweeted it wasn't actually at the convention, and you can't believe everything you hear on Twitter. But later I saw the actress Nefessa, I think she retweeted somebody's tweet that was like, oh, just keep coming and you'll get the love you deserve, or something like that, basically. So I was like, well, if the actress retweeted it, like, that's her way of kind of being like, yep, that's
This
how
happened.
I feel.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because they are doing great work, and she's amazing, and is always talking about how much she's honored to play a Black lesbian superhero. So, you know, I do think the founders of Klexicon work really hard to improve kind of the diversity this year, but this seemed to be, people were criticizing the fans, you know.
Right.
You know, of course, some people are like, oh, well, it's a new show, oh, well, you know, and who knows, like, you could sit there and pull it apart all day, but that's not really the point. So I think that's important to talk about, and probably Klexicon needs to market in communities of color more, because the fans should be as diverse as the actors they're bringing on, and then maybe some of that would be resolved. But and then one more thing, and then I will stop talking about Klexicon. But one of the Winona Earp fans, that the only one that lives close to me, her name on Twitter is Bendy, and she also calls herself Mini Waves, because Waverly on Winona Earp. There is a scene where Waverly Earp in the show does a private cheer routine for her girlfriend, and it's both sexy and adorable. So Bendy has her like cosplay cheerleader outfit as Waverly, and she went up to ask a question, and they told her she could do the dance if she wanted, and she got to do the dance on stage with that for
is
them.
so
Oh my
cute.
God, it was so sweet. It was so heartwarming. It was so cute. So I should put a link to that in the show notes too.
Please do. I want to see that. That's cute.
So yes, I highly recommend go to Klexicon, do it, especially if you have a creative project that you're developing, because you will get so much help. It's awesome.
Great.
And then on that note, our next thing is our weekly question. So we ask you guys to chime in every week, and we'll be reading out the responses. So we have a voicemail. You can leave a voicemail. What's the number, Leslie? Do you have it in front of you?
I do. It is 785-746-2604.
Yes, cool. Or, tweet us, whatever. It's
at Geeky Girl Guide.
Yeah.
Or.
Yeah. Really anywhere. So our question this week is, what is your favorite queer ship and why? So we'll give our answers, and then you guys call in with yours. So do you want to talk about yours first, Leslie?
Sure. So when we were talking about this earlier, I had to think about it, and then while we were podcasting, I also thought of another one. So the first one I have is Edward Cullen and Jasper Cullen from Twilight. I just think that, so I've read a lot of Twilight fan fiction. That's pretty much the only fan fiction that I read. And like all the stories between Jasper and Edward are always great.
Nice.
There is another gentleman that could be in there, Emmett, but Emmett's always written just a meathead, honestly. He's written as a meathead. He's this loud, boisterous, always has to be the center of attention, and that just doesn't fit well with Edward or Jasper. So they just work well together, and sometimes they'll throw in Edward, Jasper, and Bella, and I do like that pairing as well.
Nice.
Well, it's not really a pairing, it's a grouping, but
Yeah.
And then
I feel you.
my second one is a real life queer ship, and it's Janelle Monáe and Tessa Thompson.
Oh my God,
Why
right?
not?
Oh my God. They are so amazing together.
Have you seen the video for Pink?
I've just seen the screenshots so far. Oh my
It's
God.
so adorable.
Yes.
Like, it makes me wanna dance around.
And I've seen the cases people have made for their ship online. And they're just two women who are brilliant and have a lot of heart and are gorgeous. And are you kidding me? They're amazing together.
Yes. So,
I'm with that. Yeah. For me, my cruise ship, it's hard because question that I've asked is a ship people you want to see get together, because I have been like, well, I love this couple, and people are like, you don't have to ship them, they're already together. So I'm like, but I feel like ships are just people you like together, but people like no, they have to not be together and you want them to get together, or they at least have to be on and off, or you don't know if they're together, and basically once they're together, ship over.
this is our podcast. You do what you want.
Okay. Because I'm like, wait, so I can't ship. They're like, okay, so you wouldn't ship like Michelle and Barack Obama because they're already married, kind of thing.
Yeah, you ship them.
Dude, I know, they're the best couple
Ever.
Because if we're talking about any ship, any queer ship, I would say anybody on Sense8, for fuck's sake. I'm telling you. No Manita, and also Nando and Lito. So there's two same-sex couples on there, and I could never even explain how amazing they are. Just go freaking watch Sense8. It's on Netflix.
I will watch it, I promise.
Yes, there are times in that show I literally stand up and yell, like, cheer. Like, literally stand up. Okay. And then if we have to do couples who aren't together but should be, I definitely am a Destiel person. Dean and Castiel on Supernatural.
Forever. They're so cute.
They are, and I think the only reason they haven't gotten them together is because, um, to be
One of
honest,
the actors?
I think maybe we're talking producers.
You think?
I think
Because
there's some discomfort there, and it's like, and I do think it's discomfort because it's a queer shipping, a queer pairing, and they can't just turn around and, oh, we made them like women, and like, okay, but bisexuality is a thing, right?
I think that would be a case for bi erasure. So
Yes, I absolutely agree. And I think they think they're not homophobic because they support full rights for gay people and they like gay people and but there is something internalized there if you're like, oh no, but this character likes women and he's macho and he wears, drives in a, you know what I mean? Like if that kind of makes you uncomfortable because you can't picture your manly character being gay, I don't know. I think I all I can say is I guarantee you, if that was an opposite sex couple, they would have explored it because you don't just take a phenomenon that fans are obsessed with and not capitalize on it. You just don't.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's my thing. So,
And I'm thinking about that, and this is like many, many, many seasons ago, but the angel that Dean did get with, was her name Anna? Like, I feel like that was the producer's way of standing in Destiel.
yeah.
If you think about it, just a little bit. That was their way of trying to give it to us, but without giving it to us. If that makes sense.
Definitely. So, Supernatural's been on for 13 years. Just got renewed for 14th season. And there's been a holy crap ton of writers that have come in and out. And some of those writers loved Destiel. And they very much wrote to it. But if ultimately, whoever it is that's holding it back, whether it's one of the actors, whether it's a producer, whether it's, whoever it is, there's writers still manage to get stuff in that's pretty freaking Destiel heavy. Like, for example, one of the writers, I actually met, and he's like one of the most iconic writers they've ever had, because real geeks really do follow writers because we know they're going to tell stories that we like rather than actors, from show to show, I think. So one of the writers, Ben Edlund, who was writing, I think, in like 4 and 5. So Michelle, my sister Michelle, and I were geek twins. We actually met him at an event, and he was like, I would absolutely go for it. It's never going to happen. So clearly there's some real
Gotcha.
Somewhere in that there is some real resistance to it. That's just like absolutely not. But he definitely snuck in a lot. I think he's the one that wrote like the profound bond line. So
Aww.
yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Okay, so I think we're running out of time, but shout out to everybody at Clexicon who was amazing, and thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you and would love to hear from you.
Yes, leave us a voicemail at 785-746-2604. Email us at ask@geekygirlguide.com. That's ask@geekygirlguide.com. Or hit us up on social media. We're Geeky Girl Guide on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
And remember, in the words of the great John Barrowman, never apologize for being nerdy. Until next time.